Hi everybody, it's Janae Canis. Welcome back to Lectin Free Solutions for another Plant Paradox Keto Intensive and ApoE4 recipe. Today we're going to be working with Daikon. I don't know how many of you have used this vegetable, but it's a really wonderful cruciferous vegetable that has really great health properties. It's great for respiratory problems, kidney and bladder problems, any kind of inflammation in your body. Not to mention it's really tasty and easy to use. Today we're gonna make a shredded daikon and shrimp salad, but this vegetable has so many different uses. It's great to add to a soup, a stir fry, you name it. It has lots of different possibilities. But today, like I said, we're gonna make a salad. So first of all, what we have to do is take off the outer covering, which I'm going to do now with a potato peeler quickly, because we don't really want that in our salad. It's probably doesn't taste as bad as it looks. And then after I finish doing this, we will grate this, and then what we have to do is remove the water. This vegetable doesn't look like it because it's really hard and firm, but it's loaded. It's probably 50% liquid. So we're going to get rid of that. All right, now let me take the peels and put them in another bowl, and then I'm going to grate this with a box grater, simple box grater, and then we're going to salt it and let it sit for 30 minutes without. Luna thinks I have something here for her to eat. She thinks I'm grating carrots, which are her favorite food. Nope, no carrots for you. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to spread this out on this large plate, and I'm going to sprinkle it with a half a teaspoon of salt and massage it all through the daikon. And we're going to put it in the refrigerator. We're going to let it sit, for a half an hour, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we have to finish processing it. It's really interesting. Okay, this is the salt. The recipe actually calls for 2 pounds of daikon, and I processed half of it this morning. Now, I can already feel this. This is really squishy, and there's a lot of liquid just from the grating. So after this sits for a half an hour, you're going to be amazed at how much water comes out of it. And then what we're going to do is wring it out so that we can add our dressing, and it won't be soupy. The dressing is going to be nice and intense, and the vegetable is going to taste really nice and crisp. We're also going to have a nice Asian dressing to go on this daikon, and while we're waiting the 30 minutes for this to release all of its liquids, we're going to mix this together quickly. Now, as I mentioned, you're going to use 2 pounds of daikon. This has been separated. This one is 1 pound, and I have 1 pound also in the refrigerator that's already been processed. So to this 2 pound mixture, we're going to add 4 cloves of chopped garlic, 4 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 4 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of Boca Sweet or erythritol swerve, whatever compliant sweetener that you like, and 1 teaspoon of fermented chili paste. Now, if you want this spicier, you just have to taste it and see if it's spicy enough for you. If you don't want it spicy, you might just want to add a tiny bit of this. Also, if you don't have the fermented garlic paste, you can also use, or sauce, you can also use a little squirt of sriracha. That works great. So we're going to set this off to the side so all of those flavors meld together. And then the other thing that we're going to do is I prepared 10 large wild-caught shrimp. And what I've done with them is clean them all up, and I actually take all the shrimp and I cut it in half down the back, because during the presentation it makes it look like you have a lot more shrimp and that you are being served more animal protein than you actually are. Since we try to keep our animal protein at no more than 20 grams per day, and we really only eat it 2 or 3 days a week at the most, it fools your eye. So that's a little trick. Anyway, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to take this over to the stove, stir fry it quickly, put it in the refrigerator so everything will be cold, and then we'll be back. All right, I'm getting my gloves on so we can give this Daikon a good wring out. It's been sitting with half a teaspoon of salt on it for a half an hour, and watch this. It is so full of water, you just can't believe it. Well, I'm going to put this in handfuls that I can handle and squeeze as much out that I can this way. Okay, and now we're going to put that over here in the, I've got a thick terry cotton towel because we need to squeeze even more water out than I'm able to do with my hands. I'll show you in a minute how much is actually left out of the first pound that I processed earlier this morning. It really shrinks down to not a whole lot. So you need to consider that when you buy the Daikon. It depends upon how many people you're going to serve. We're going to do dinner with this, and it's going to be for the 3 of us. So I don't know if you can see this or not. You know what? Let me grab a measuring cup so I can just estimate how much water came out of here. I was looking for my glass one, but I don't see it. So I'll just give this a try. I hope I don't make a big mess. A little bit. Well, that is at least a cup of water, almost a cup of water, probably because I spilled some. So now what I'm going to do is, since I got as much water out as I can, squeezing it with my hands, now I'm going to roll it up in this thick doubled terry towel, and then I am just going to wring the heck out of it. Twist it as much as I can. Oh, actually, some more is coming out just that way now. Okay, I think that's good. Now, before I undo that, I want to show you what I have in this bowl. This is the other half of the Daikon, so this is 1 pound that has been completely dried from removing the water. So what we're going to do is open this up a little bit. It's really squished together. And I'm going to take this one that we just did and add that to it. And then what we're going to do is add the dressing to it. And we're going to put it back in the refrigerator and let it sit for another 30 minutes so that all those flavors from the dressing replace the water that came out. Okay, so that's 2 pounds of Daikon. Here we go. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention while we were off camera, I tasted this salad dressing, and with using the Boca Sweet, I really thought it needed about an extra teaspoon. So depending upon the sweetener that you're using, you'll have to taste it and adjust. If it tastes too sour, then add a little bit more sweetener. That's what I had to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour all of that dressing on this 2 pounds of processed Daikon, and then I'm going to massage it all through, try and get it pulled apart again. And then after another 30 minutes in the refrigerator, we're going to be ready to plate this dinner up. We'll be back then. All right, the Daikon has been marinating for a half an hour, so we're all ready to go and plate it up. I picked some of those sprouts that we're growing, and for Tom and I use the broccoli sprouts and some of the Daikon. For my mom, she can't eat broccoli. She's very allergic to it, so I had to do mustard greens for her, and I'm leaving hers without carrot right now so that I don't get them mixed up. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my little half-cup measure so that we can make sort of an attractive presentation. I'm going to put that down into the half-cup measure, and then I'm going to turn it upside down on the plate. And then we have a nice little mounded amount of salad. This looks like a small amount of Daikon, but actually it's very concentrated, and the flavors are very concentrated. So you really don't need very much. As you can see, for 2 cups of raw Daikon that we processed, I'm going to get 3 meals out of that. So that is that. And then I'm also going to, on Tom's and mine, I'm going to put some little green onions around here. to give it a little flavor. You know, I have tried making this, blending these vegetables together into the daikon, and I don't think it works very well because it's quite moist, and I think they're actually better served separately. I've got a little bit of cilantro here I'm going to put on my mom's, and some cilantro and mint. I'll put a little bit of that on ours too. Those things are always optional. I know there's some of you that don't care anything about cilantro or mint, and it's fine. You absolutely don't need it, but we grow it, so it just seems silly not to use it. And then also I have some stir-fried shrimp that I did earlier and chilled. And all I did was put a little bit of chili paste, some garlic, and just stir-fried it quickly in olive oil. And as I mentioned, I cut these pieces in half so that we have plenty for eye candy to go around the individual dishes. And that's what we'll do right now. One on the top, some around. And it makes it look like it's a lot more than it actually is. I didn't count these out. I might have to do some. No, I think it all worked out fine. Okay, there you have it, shredded daikon shrimp salad. I hope you'll give it a try, and also I hope you'll get online and do a little bit of reading about the benefits of daikon. It's really a great add to our plant paradox regime, and it can be used in lots and lots of different ways. It's really amazing how many things that it's good for. Anyway, thanks again for checking in with me, and thanks for all of your support. I really, really appreciate it. Catch you next time.